NCAA basketball totals for Saturday. We're going to look at 3 games today in NCAA hoops. Whole bunch of really good games out there. We're just going to focus on 3 for the totals. Again, for you new guys, this is a segment where we check out the total set by oddsmakers. We try to beat that line either over or under that total. We're having a pretty good season so far in NCAA hoops. Let's see if we can continue to do that today. Don't forget to check out our NBA segment as well. That's going on live about 4 o'clock Eastern on our Facebook page. So for a Sportsbook review, be sure to check that out, sbrpicks.com. Our YouTube channel, and the website Sportsbook Review, one of the best out there when it comes to odds and reviewing sportsbooks. So, check it out. A lot of good sign-up bonuses, things like that. And we got 3 totals today. Here we go. Let's start breaking them down. All right, the first one up we got, we're going to look at is Auburn and Kentucky. Oddsmakers have it at 171.5, and we're going over. This is going to be an absolute track meet. This is a little trend that we've been doing recently for you guys have been tuning in, and we're looking at how oddsmakers are setting the line throughout. These teams have been matching up. Now, these 2 teams, of course, Auburn and Kentucky, totally different dynamic this year. NCAA basketball has been crazy as far as scoring, and now Bruce Pearl's at Auburn. They're going to go really fast. I'll dig into some stats here, but that 171.5, and I'm going over. This is the high, like I've mentioned it before. This is the high. Not only is this the highest total we've seen. I have stats back to 98, since 1998. This is the highest total we've seen. So that's 18 years. Not only is this the highest total we've seen set by odds makers, it's the highest total set by far. The last total was the highest one, was the last time they matched up, and that was last January, 151. Now this is 20 points higher. This is going to be an absolute track meet. Sorry, I stand corrected. Back in 2010, they had a 154, in which they went under. They went under on both of those. Actually, that 154 and that 151. But I like the over. I think this one's going to be absolutely bananas. Both these teams, statistically, are going so fast, and they can both score. Auburn's averaging 79.2 points per game, and they get up over 61 attempts per game. That's fast. More importantly, is they allow over 62 attempts per game. Now, Kentucky, they're at home. They've been ridiculous. 93.8 points per game. They're ranked first in the country in scoring. Auburn, defensively, I do not see them stopping them. They're not bad. They're allowing opponents to shoot just 41.1%. They haven't played a ton of tough competition. Nobody like Kentucky. However, their averages are not enough at least to keep Kentucky down to a reasonable number. And the pace, Bruce Pearl loves to get up and down. John Calipari loves to get up and down. They have athletes across the board. Kentucky, they're ranked second in tempo right now, averaging 69.3 attempts per game. And they're allowing 62.4, much like Auburn. They both allow tempo. Kentucky's pretty good on the defensive end, but they allow their share as well. I mean, they're allowing almost 72 points per game, and Auburn's allowing 75. But this is all about the tempo and the scoring. So that 171.5, it looks big, but I think they get there. I think this is going to be a really fast matchup, so I'm going over the total with those 2. All right, next one up. Same sort of trend we're looking at here with Houston and Central Florida. Oddsmakers have it at 125, and we're going to go under. Now, Johnny Dawkins, of course, brings a little bit of different dynamic to Central Florida. But still, that being said, this 125 since 2006, this is the lowest total we've seen set by oddsmakers, so I'm going under. Last few totals they've had, again, different personnel, different dynamic, different coaching. 143, 144, 137.5. They've been over and they've been under on both. But this 125 is really low, and the reason is because Central Florida is a really good defensive team, and they go at a really slow pace. But so is Houston. Defensively, Houston's pretty solid. Right now, Houston's allowing 61.9 points per game. That ranks 15th in the country. Central Florida, 57.5. That ranks 3rd. Both these teams can score a little bit, especially Houston, but it's at Central Florida. And UCF, they're arguably the best, well, statistically, they're the best defensive team in the country, because right now they rank 1st in opponent overall shooting percentage, opponent 2-point shooting percentage, opponent shooting efficiency, opponent effective field goal percentage, and they're 2nd in opponent shooting percentage from beyond the arc. That is a really tough defense, and they don't go particularly fast, averaging just 52 attempts per game. So I don't think Houston's going to be able to get up and down on them, even though they want to push the tempo a little bit. Houston's pretty decent offensively, but their defensive numbers are really solid. Right now, they're allowing just 38.8% shooting from the floor from their opponents. That ranks 18th in the country, and they're 12th in 2-point shooting percentage. Opponents, that is. They're 6th in field goals made per game. UCF is 5th in field goals made per game. This is going to be a really slow Tough defensive battle. I'm backing. And again, the number set by oddsmakers, they set it this low for a reason. So I am going under with that Central Florida and Houston under the 125. All right, last one up. Arguably, this is the best game of the day. I don't care what big conferences are out there. You got St. Mary's at Gonzaga. That's always a good one. Oddsmakers have it at 133.5. Similar trend we're sticking to here. Man, these guys really played to some tough battles. I'm going under the total, that 133.5. We've only seen this low of a total from oddsmakers twice in the last since 1998. In 2003, they had a 133.5. They went under. And then more recently, in 2014, in the WCC tournament, they had a 133.5 in which they went under. I think they do it again today. Two good teams overall, well-rounded teams. They both can score, but they're really founded on defense. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about when we look at their defensive numbers. Very good on both sides of the ball. Gonzaga is allowing 64.4 points per game. They're ranked 28th in the nation. St. Mary's is allowing 56.6. They're ranked second in defensive scoring. They absolutely put the clamps down on Portland their last time out. They won't be as successful against Gonzaga, but they should hold them to a reasonable number to say under this 133.5. Right now, they're allowing opponents to shoot just over 40% from the floor, but more importantly, they're allowing opponents just over 30% from distance. That ranks 24th in the country, and Gonzaga can score. Offensively, Gonzaga has some nice statistics, but it's been a while. It's since earlier in the year where they've really faced some tough competition. St. Mary's is going to be a real battle for them. Gonzaga defensively, Mark Few, great coach. Randy Bennett, St. Mary's, great coach. I've mentioned this before. I don't think he's going to be at St. Mary's much longer. He's going to go to probably a higher profile program. But right now, Gonzaga, they're allowing opponents just 37.7%. That's 7th in the country. And they're 2nd in opponent shooting efficiency and 4th in opponent effective field goal percentage. Tempo could be an issue. St. Mary's doesn't go very fast, but Gonzaga kind of likes to get up and down. Now, it's at Gonzaga, so that gives me a little bit of pause. But again, this is another numbers play where we haven't seen a total this low, very often, just a couple times in the history of these two teams. So I'm going to go and I'm back under that total. And that's it. Let's recap that. All right, we got Auburn and Kentucky over the 171.5 and what should be a track meet. Houston's and Central Florida under the 125, and finally St. Mary's Gonzaga under the 133.5. Those are our NCAA picks for the totals. We'll have our NBA segment out there as well, so be sure to check that out, and I wish you luck on your picks today.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SBR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.